I just had a very interesting conversation with two friends, and the title is exactly what it seems like. We were three guys who knew nothing, giving advice to each other. So basically, these are like my friends and work colleagues, and we were basically just having a very deep conversation, as you can tell by the title. And one thing that came up was the idea that we didn't know anything. And what I mean by that is even though for me and my friend Arnav here, we've been spending he's been spending much longer than I have, but years. And I've been spending the last 8 months upskilling on YouTube strategy because we're working for a business as YouTube strategists. And even though we've spent so much time, relatively, learning YouTube and learning so much of the details, we still felt like we knew nothing because as we learn more, we realize how much we don't know. And then same thing with my friend Tan here. For the same thing with in terms of learning, because he's a learning coach. He's been a wonderful help for me. But it was really interesting to see that even though us three, we've been really focused on the grind and learning as much as possible. Even then, we still feel we don't know everything, and we still realize we know 1% of the entire field. And this realization really made me just this realization made me realize well, it did make me realize that like this is just part of the journey, accepting that you don't know anything. um and I feel like that's such a important thing in my life because I used to feel I used to almost act like I knew everything because I felt like if I acted like I knew everything, then I'll get more respect from other people, I'll get more opportunities, I'll feel better about myself. But I realized that if you do that, but you don't actually have the expertise, then you're just full of shit. And in fact, when I changed my mindset to okay, I don't know as much as I think I do, but I'm going to try my best to try and learn that and find the people and ask for advice and be open minded to be able to learn that. That's when I've experienced the most growth. And so I just want to share this lesson because if you're watching this right now, you're probably a very ambitious person trying to get after it in life. And I think it's so easy to fall in the trap that you know everything. And I'm not saying to have no confidence in yourself, feel you're just this horrible person that knows nothing. That's not the point. The point is to have that confidence, but also the humility at the same time to realize that there's so much that you don't know. And so even us three, we didn't know anything, but we were still giving advice to each other because there are lessons we've learned, there's mistakes we've made. And it's not hey, this is the exact way that you should do something. Instead, it's more hey, I tried this, I made this mistake, you guys might find this helpful. And I felt like that was just the fact that we were all aligned in this same mindset, and the sense that we knew that none of us have the full picture. Sometimes maybe we'll never have the full picture, but at least we're open minded to admit that we have mistakes and that we're learning in the process. And so this was just a very powerful conversation, and that was by far one of the biggest takeaways I've had. That you may not know everything. In fact, most likely you don't know everything, or you don't even know 1% of the entire topic. But that's completely fine because the person next to you, he probably doesn't either. But that's not the point. The point isn't to know everything about the topic within 1 year. The point is to understand and realize that you don't know anything, but then use that as the driving force to keep going forward. So that's the most important takeaway I got from this.